Hello and welcome to our town. Today I have two special guests. To my left is Mr. Craig Cantra, and to his left is his wife, Liz Cantera, and they are members of World Team Sports. Well, today we're going to be talking about an event that's going to be happening in April 25th, 26th, and 27th of this year, and it's for Face of America. Hello and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Roger.
And let's talk a little bit about the history of the World Team Sports and
Well, let me begin by saying how we got involved. We reside here in Biddeford. I own and operate Pinnacle Wealth Management, which is an investment advisory firm. And I do my investment advisory work through a firm called American Portfolios, which is in Holbrook, Rhode Island. Long Island. Lon Dobler was the founder of American Portfolios and is really a huge participant in World Team Sports. He sits on the board of directors, and for many years he's been kind of bugging me to join them, which I did several years ago. World Team Sports is a 501c3 organization, and that too is located in Holbrook, Long Island, right in the same building as American Portfolios. Their motto is simple. It's changing lives through sports. And basically the people we focus on is disabled veterans as well as citizens in general. A couple years ago, again, Lon asked me to participate in one of their events called Face of America. And that's only one of many activities that they do. They do mountain climbing, they've climbed Kilimanjaro, they do a lot of sea kayaking, mountain biking. So they do a lot of activities with a lot of disabled people throughout the world. So several years ago, Liz and I joined World Team Sports, and we did a Face of America ride. Face of America is one of the largest rides in Washington, D.C. This year we'll have over 500 participants and over 100 disabled veterans and citizens. It's a 110-mile ride. We begin at the Pentagon, and we ride up to Gettysburg. So you can imagine, we ride through a variety of environments, beginning in D.C. We're on major throughways, and as we get up towards Gettysburg, we're riding in the mountains. What's truly amazing is that all of the roads are turned off for us. They're blocked off to cars. We have police escorts. We have motorcycle escorts. And as we're riding through many of the towns, we have people on the side of the road just cheering us on. So it's kind of a moving event. The first day, we ride approximately 60 miles. And throughout the day, we stop several times because a lot of these vets are riding kind of awkward bikes and awkward...
Yeah, it's all pedal bikes.
It's all pedal bikes.
It's not motorcycles, it's pedal bikes.
It's all pedal bikes.
You got to tell the audience that. It's pedal bikes.
Yes, it's bicycling. And at these stops, it could be a fire barn, it could be a state park, or it could be neighborhood lawns. And the local people have prepared food and other refreshments for the riders. And they're all civilians, and they're donating their time and money. The disabled riders ride a variety of bikes. Last year, I rode with one wounded warrior who had a prosthetic leg, and he rode a regular bike. And I did everything possible to keep up to him. He was a big, strong fella, and yeah, he definitely put me to shame. But some of the riders are basically, they have no legs or prosthetics, and they're on their backs, and they're riding crank bikes. So they're actually pedaling with their hands.
Down to the ground level.
Down to the ground level. In a variety of ages. Everything from Korean vets to Afghanistan, Iraq. So people of all ages. Because some of the riders are riding on their back. We have to modify their bikes in the sense that we put grips on it. So when we come to hills, we able riders will help them up the hills. And there are a lot of hills. In fact, some of the hills are so dangerous that we have major accidents. And one of our teammates last year, a young fellow by the name of Chris, his crank bike actually split in half. And I think his pride was hurt more than the rest of his body. They did get him another bike for him. And in the past year, we at American Portfolios have chipped in and bought him a new bike. And I do have a picture here. I don't, yeah, that's Chris in the blue.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And those bikes are not cheap. I mean, some of these bikes are $15,000, $18,000. And so we do our best to keep them in equipment. Everybody rides together. So as we're moving down the road, we have over 500 people riding all together. Closing off the roads, most people don't care, but every once in a while you get some citizens that are not happy with it, because you can imagine. It takes 500 people a long time to get through a town.
And I was reading an article that you people sent me, and this started in the year, was it 2000?
Yeah, approximately, yeah.
And there was about 85 participants at that
Yes.
time. And look at what you've grown today. over
Yeah,
the years.
and we have more and more teams that want to join, but the problem is some of the local authorities don't want to get much larger, because we do close down the town, unfortunately, but it's for a good cause. Yeah. No one is left behind. Unless somebody truly gets hurt, we help everybody cross the line. And it takes a lot of effort. For example, last year, Liz took over the gear concession, selling memorabilia and things of that
Right.
nature.
Liz, let's hear from you. How about your
Well,
job?
I just went in and I had a great fellow I was working with. He liked the shirts and he was helping sell them, and I helped do the operations end of it. And we had a banner year for the gear store, and the proceeds from that all go to the ride, and
Right.
the proceeds for the ride are designed to pay the full cost for these wounded warriors to fly in or drive in. It pays for their hotels, their meals, bicycle rentals if they need a rental. And Craig was talking about no one left behind. They do have SAG wagons along the way, and if you're exhausted, they'll drive you one stretch to give you a break. So we have a couple people that once in a while they break down and they just need to get through a little hump, and then they're back on the road again.
Right.
But
And you were telling me you raised quite a lot of money last year. That's quite. You did
we
really
did.
well for last year.
We had a record year. I think it was because we had Craig organizing in the back by T-shirts by the size, because if you can imagine, you've got 500 people coming through the gear store in a 6-hour period of time, so you are really boogieing for that period of time. So we had a really good year, and I was pleased with that. You know.
That's great.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
their
Craig.
normal sales were, I guess it was around $1,500, and Lizzie and the rest of the people working at the stand raised almost $8,000. So again, they were very happy with that. And that's why we're here. We as a team, as an effort, all of the teams this year, we're trying to raise $450,000. And I think the last time I looked at it, it was around $360,000.
Already raised for
Already
this year,
raised.
2014.
Yeah, and the money that the riders raise goes all to the event, but we riders still have to come up with about $1,200 for our own expenses. So
Your own expenses.
Yeah,
Because
so
all the right, you have to pay for your own way through.
We have a registration fee. We do come from a distance, so Maine, we've got to leave a day early, and we pay for our hotels, our meals.
Right.
yeah.
Now,
And all.
where's the furthest where these people come from? Where's the furthest point? You guys ever?
Well, some of the vets fly in from California or Texas, or there are events with World Team Sports that they'll ride. They have a 38-day event, which is from San Francisco to Virginia Beach, and it's called Sea to Shining Sea. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. They get it done in 38 days. They have mountain biking in Texas with President Bush jumps in on that ride. And they have Adventure Team Challenge for teens that are emotionally challenged too, and that's in the New York area. And so they have a lot of different events for, they're trying to encourage growth through sports.
That's great.
In fact, last year we had a Canadian team join the American Portfolios team.
No kidding.
Yeah, so they come from everywhere.
That's great.
Yeah, it really is.
That's great. Let's go a little bit. Okay, I think we already discussed the organization, the participants. Let's talk about the bike teams. You're saying about different groups now.
Right. We have, I don't recall the number of teams that are participating this year, but we have teams like from American Portfolios. We have the Army team, the Navy team, the Coast Guard, the Marines,
Air Force.
Air Force.
Yes. Booz Allen Hamilton, that's a technology firm that does a lot of our technology for
Right.
our military.
Right.
Capital One is a big sponsor. The Bethesda the Bethesda Hospital.
Yeah. And so all of these
and Walter Reed Memorial Hospital too
yeah.
is a part of this.
And our goal basically is two goals: raise money for these disabled riders, and to help them get over the line, to finish the race. It's not really a race, to finish the ride.
Yeah. And it's amazing, what you people are doing, and it's not. This is not old. You started in 2000. This is 14 years
Yes.
old, and it seems like it's growing. But like you say, they just don't want to over-peak it.
Right.
Because of the towns. It actually started off, the first rides were from New York, the World Trade Center, down to DC.
Oh, is that right?
That's where it first started. And then this ride from DC to Gettysburg came about, which is quite a fascinating ride. I think the viewers, when they see the video and some of the pictures, a wide variety of terrain. Sometimes we're in towns and sometimes we're out in the country. And it's just truly amazing. And looking at the pictures of these riders, what they're doing, what they're riding on, and how they're doing it. So for those of us who are not disabled, we try to get our complaining done before the bike ride. Because we simply don't want to be seen complaining with these other fellers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, because there's actually a lot of women that ride as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, has this been always the same route from Washington to Gettysburg, or is it?
For this particular event, this is the route.
This
Yeah.
is the route.
Yeah, and they go past they go over the Veterans Memorial Bridge, past the Iwo Jima Memorial, and then they continue up some country roads, but some of them are the main highways that have to be closed down for a period of time, and into Frederick, Maryland, which that's a very historical area as well for the Civil War. And then the second day, they continue up through the battlefields of Gettysburg.
We were saying before the program that somebody got killed in one that somebody got hit someplace in a car or something.
That was
Well,
in Maine.
that was actually that bike ride here in Maine.
In Maine.
In Maine, that I guess it's called the Mountain to Sea. And that, as I was telling you, that ride's a little bit different. I don't think it's as well organized as this ride here is. The riders may be miles apart, whereas in this situation, we try to keep everybody together because we have so many people that may need assistance, and we want to be certain that, number one, we're there to help them, and we also want to be certain that everybody is safe, and that's why we have the roads that are closed, and therefore we have to get everybody through the towns as quickly as possible, so we're not putting too much strain on the road traffic.
But the main, like I said right now, but the money goes back into the veterans or the people who are disabled, disabled and so forth. And I think that's great. I really think it's great for what you people are doing.
They pay no registration fee. They have no fundraising minimums like what as civilians what we would have, and the whole goal is just to try to get them out there, and the determination is inspiring. It really is.
Unreal. Huh?
It's very humbling.
And we've met a lot of interesting people. Again, Lon, who is on the board of directors, every year at American Portfolios conventions, we always have a disabled athlete there. And just to be able to spend a couple of days with these people and see what they've overcome is truly amazing.
Well, for instance, 2 years ago, Marcus Luttrell was our keynote speaker. And I hope everyone knows Marcus Luttrell from his story of lone survivor. And he told his whole story, and I had already read the book. I'm sitting in the conference, and I'm saying, I know this story. And yeah, it was really incredible.
It's unreal. I'm telling you, a lot of the people, what they've gone through, through the wars. You're looking from World War I right through, Revolutionary. But now we're talking Vietnam, we were talking Afghanistan, Iraq.
Yes.
And it's worse. It seems like the more wars we're getting into, the more and more we're having wounded, with all kinds of
And now,
accidents.
the thing that they're doing now is they're just blowing everyone's legs off.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, in Vietnam, well, there was some like that too, but more now you're seeing more and more like Iran, Iraq and Afghanistan. It's unreal what these people are going through. Let's talk about the different donations that you people have been getting in from where, all over the country.
Yeah, Liz and I are fortunate because we have many clients that are very aware of what we're doing. And in fact, last year, we raised enough money to put us at the third fundraiser at American Portfolios, and we have over 35 members, and most of them come from major metropolitan areas, New
Right.
York and New Jersey, and so we're just a couple of hicks here in Maine, and with our clients and our friends, we were able to raise a fair amount of money. So we're very happy about that. And again, our goal at American Portfolios this year is $75,000.
75 for the state of Maine, for this area.
For $100,000 for American Portfolios.
Okay. All right.
Last year, we raised almost $100,000, which put us as the #1 fundraiser in the whole
ride.
the whole ride. So, yeah, we spend a lot of time raising dollars for this event because that's the main reason. We want to be able to get these riders down there and for them to enjoy themselves and supply them with everything they need to participate in the ride. Because again, they're flying from all over the country, and when they end up in DC, they have not incurred a cost of expense. We are picking up the whole tab for them.
Wow. You said you have a video. You said you had a video. Do we have a video?
There is a video. It's about a 10-minute video, and it's going to show very different aspects of the ride and some of the people with their disabilities. And what's fascinating is the type of equipment they use to do this 110-mile ride.
Okay, and we'll show it, and we'll be right back.
Okay, great.
Okay.
He said, "I'm sorry that I'm unable to join you this evening, but health issues have precluded me from being here tonight. As this year's Face of America Bicycle Ride begins, I want to congratulate each and every participant. With events spanning more than 20 years, World Team Sports has brought together both disabled and able-bodied individuals, creating a unique and inspiring sense of unity and shared goals. The Face of America Ride redirects our focus to the ability and disability, particularly with respect to the wounded warrior. We all have different challenges in life, and we never know what our next challenge may be. Many who risked their lives for our freedom have returned from the battlefield with lasting injuries. Realities shift, but the soldier forges ahead with new abilities and a renewed optimism and a strength that few will ever know. I hope all of you will join me in saluting these true American heroes. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all you continue to do for our nation's finest. God bless America. Bob Dole. And now I have to turn the microphone over to General Bob Magnus.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I can't hear you. Good morning, everyone.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
You didn't stop drinking last night until this morning, right? Okay. Where are my soldiers? Where are my sailors? Where's the Air Force? Where's the Coast Guard? And where are the United States Marines? I still can't hear you. Hey, look, I have a lot of things that I'm going to say, but the most important thing I'm going to say is that we do this ride every year, and there are folks that have done twice as many rides as I have and done other things that World Team Sports has done for the athletes, not just cycling, but, what other people would call extreme sports, but it's kind of hard to talk about extreme sports when you've got such extremely wonderful Americans that are the athletes. But the Face of America ride has either begun or ended in Gettysburg now for, I believe it's 8 years. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Okay, don't tell me I'm wrong. And this is sacred ground, really. On the backside of the house here is the beginning of the Gettysburg battlefield, and Longstreet's Corps marched up that road to the Round Tops, and as you know, one of the greatest battles in American history, where brother was fighting brother. Here, brothers and sisters are here united in a common cause, and the common cause is to celebrate being American, to celebrate the service of Americans, whether it's military services or our emergency services folks, or just service to the community. Emblematic of this event, and it's just wonderful that the Gettysburg Fire Department and police come out and support us, as did every other fire department and police department from Arlington all the way up here. Emblematic of this is Corporal Jim, a.k.a. Seamus Garrahy, who has been with us every year, and he is with us this year right now. And his wingman has been with him the whole way. Linda, come up here. Linda Garrahy. Linda, there's a lot of things that we want to say to you, and I'm sure folks will. We love you. We love this setting, which is just so historic and so meaningful to the riders that do it the first year and every year after that. But something special from the folks at World Team Sports, but more importantly, the people who are at World Team Sports, is this flag, which of course is the Marine Corps' own flag. But on the obverse of the flag, well, these guys are doing it like we trained this. It says, in honor of Corporal Seamus Garrahy, 1941 to 2012. Linda, please accept this in our love for you and Jim. Linda just said she loves you all, and please give her a hug, talk to her while you're here. I'm not going to hold you here much longer. Van, is there somebody else that's supposed to speak after me? Van bailed on me. Nope. Okay. All right. Good. So I've already thanked all of the riders, and I want to tell you that when you go back to your communities, whether it's an event for World Team Sports or an event for one of who knows how many charities there are in the United States that support their communities with sporting events and particularly cycling. Go back and spread the word. This is not only a feel-good, this is a do-good thing. You do good for yourself, you do good for the fellow riders, you do good for your communities, and quite frankly, as I said the other night, this is not the face of America here. Every ride we do is Faces of America. It's the faces of America that are out there on the streets, as you saw yesterday and today, cold weather, warm weather, rainy weather, hot weather, World War II veterans, believe it or not, Korean War, Vietnam War, and the local fire department and EMTs. That's good. And your faces, because you're all looking at each other as a mirror of America. It's a beautiful country. It's a wonderful country. What a heck of a way to celebrate the country by giving back and enjoying it as you do it. So, see you on the highways and byways. Thank you very much. I hope everyone, and I know there were a couple of spills, I hope everyone did well. And let me tell you, most importantly, for people who have given a lot and still give back a lot, let's hear it for our wounded and disabled riders.
Hello, and welcome back. Craig, let's talk a little bit more about that video that they just showed.
Well, it's interesting. The colonel that introduced the ride last year just had his 65th birthday that day. And he taught at the military academy, and I rode with him for the first day. And boy, did I get an education. And then when we neared Gettysburg, I had the opportunity to ride with him again. And I learned a lot those 2 days about that whole Battle of Gettysburg. Absolutely.
You feel a lot of history in it.
A lot of history. And at the end of that video is Seamus's farm, and he was a corporal in the Marines. He had passed away that year in that of that ride, but that's where we have our steak barbecue at the end of the ride. And that is a very historic battlefield for the Gettysburg battle. And just being around all of those military personnel, you get to learn a lot about that unfortunate event. And so the next couple of days, that ride, the video that we saw was from actually 2012. Yeah, but after visiting the battlefields, we had a better understanding because of everyone who educated us of what happened during those days of Gettysburg.
Today we're talking about an event that's going to be happening in Washington, D.C. and going. It's a bike ride that's going to be going from Washington, D.C. to Gettysburg. It's a 3-day event, which is starting April 25th, 26th, and 27th, and it's called Face of America. And today my two guests are Mr. Craig Cantra and his wife Liz Cantera from Biddeford, and they are members of World Team Sports. So let's talk about how can they, people who've been watching this program, how can they donate and how can they contact you?
Sure. We know we're going through difficult times right now, and money is tight for everyone. So the donations, they don't have to be large. We've had people donate $200. We've had people donate $10, and we appreciate every dollar that comes in. One way to donate is to go to the World Team Sports website and then go to the Face of America, and there is a system there that you can follow. Some people feel uncomfortable doing that. In fact, last year, most of our contributors simply wrote a check out to World Team Sports for any amount of money, and then they mailed it to our office, which is Pinnacle Wealth Management, 3 Pinnacle Lane, right here in Biddeford, 04005. And we'll make sure that all the checks get to our New York office and will be placed properly.
Yeah, and even organizations out there in the community that are interested in donating money for this special project, there it is. Liz,
Yes.
And Liz, you got anything else to add? What we're your people are involved with a lot of popular people that is involved with this organization.
Well, we did have a speaker at our dinner that was Colonel Gary Gadsden, and he's in the movie Battleship. So if you've seen that movie, you'll know this great big guy has no legs, and he rode that whole ride, and he's just an amazing person. But he would speak. He spoke at the dinner the night before the whole ride started and offered encouragement and unity to bring everyone together. It was really nice.
You couldn't get around them because there were a lot of children there, and all the kids that had seen that movie, oh yes, he was handing out autographs.
Autographs, right?
And he was an awfully nice gentleman.
Is it,
awfully
okay,
nice.
now did you give your phone number in case somebody wants to
Yeah,
talk to you
Yeah,
about the project?
our office number is 207-284-4331
Here in Biddeford.
in Biddeford, on Pinnacle Lane, which is right off from South Street. Just leave a message with the person who answers the phone, and we will return your phone call promptly.
Great.
Okay?
And any final comments?
I don't know.
Again, it's Pinnacle Wealth Management,
Okay.
3 Pinnacle Lane, here in
And
Biddeford.
if anybody out there wants to donate to this special event that's going to be happening, and it's to help our disabled vets and
Right.
so forth.
And make the check out to World Team Sports.
Well, I want to thank you both for coming. It was very interesting.
I want to thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm your host, Roger Hirschbies, for Our Town. Until next time, thank you for watching.